Hello there, good to see you again. This is Michael from Make It WordPress, and today we're looking into Templ, which is a WordPress hosting company. Just a small introduction. I run Make It WordPress, which is a WordPress blog and company, and I'm on the quest of the best of WordPress. And one of these things is that I test and review WordPress hosting parties really thoroughly, from support to performance to features. And today we will looking into Templ. So what will you get out of this video? First, I will just go through what Templ is and explain you what the features are, what kind of hosting it is. Then I will just go through the platform. We'll be adding a site and walk through all the features that Templ offers. And at last, I'll just discuss my experience with the support and also the performance of Templ. So just watch this video if you're more interested in Templ, if you're looking into WordPress hosting, if you want to discover if this would be good hosting for your new website. But without now enough introduction, let's go ahead. So Templ is managed WordPress hosting based on the Google Cloud, and that's what I also boost the speed of Google. They also are pretty proud and reveal support, which are WordPress expert, and the scalability of the platform, which makes it easy to also host bigger websites. They have a pretty nice dashboard, as you can see in here, with the right tools needed to manage your WordPress website, to have staging environments. They use really modern technologies to make your website run fast, also have it usable even if you are a developer. Furthermore, as I said, it's based on the Google Cloud. Their hosting technology is based on Google Cloud. It means they host websites on Google service, which makes them pretty scalable and also sustainable, by the way. And they boast human support, which are expert at WordPress, and of course available 24/7. And this is one of these extra things that managed hosts give. So just a quick view at the pricing model. So if you scroll down, you see that they have 4 main subscriptions, which range from smaller plans with less space to store your files and photos and website, and less bandwidth, which is basically the amount of views you can have, depending on how big your website is, to also the CPU curve, which is and RAM, which indicates the performance of your websites and how many visitors a website can handle. And you see it ranges from small, starting at $29 monthly, to the large website with much more storage and bandwidth. These count all for one website. Actually, this plan, if you want to have add-on websites, it will cost you $10 a month in addition. So that's good to know. The large plan doesn't support more websites out of the box. You need to pay extra for it. And they also have some add-on services such as speed optimization and keeping your WordPress website always up to date. So that was just a small introduction of their offerings. By the way, they're from Sweden in Europe. It's nice to review a European company because I'm from Europe myself, the Netherlands more specifically. But let's go on and just log in to the platform. And the login. And the dashboard is loading. So there we are. This is the dashboard of Templ. As you can see, it's really clean. On the left, you have all the important items. There on the bottom right is the support, in which you can have conversations with the support. Just close it down for now. This is the overview of the website, the bandwidth used, and some billing things. So why won't you go ahead and just create a new WordPress website? It's pretty easy. You can migrate an existing website to Templ or create a new one. You'll be going through the process creating a new website. I'll just click on migrate just to see how it looks like. you can pass on the login details of your old website and host details, and it will transfer it over, which is a pretty nice feature. I think you can do it yourself or ask the staff to do this migration. But let's go back to creating a website. So here we are. It's pretty easy to create a new website. You can just type the name of your website and choose the location, which is one of the data centers of Google. I will just spin in one in Frankfurt, and let's go. Now our website is created. This takes a couple of minutes and actually goes pretty fast. So I'll be back in a moment. So there we are again. Our website creation is complete. So just let's go on and look how it looks like in our panel. Here we are. This is our new site. As you can see, Templ assigns a temporary domain which you can use. More on domains later. The previous server is there and all the details you need to access this actual website. As you can see here, the storage, there's only 6.2 gigabytes free of your 10 gigabytes of space, and that is because Templ also installs the OS, the operating system that is needed to run WordPress within your space, so that's already deduced from this page. So you will have somewhat less space for your actual website. Let's just scroll down and go to edit website details. In this section, you can just change your password for the login, change the domain name. You have to add the domain name under domains and point it to the right IP. And you can also put HTTP authentication, which is a pop-up before accessing your website, and add SFTP login and restart the website if something goes wrong. And of course, delete the website. These are pretty convenient tools for accessing the website, and it's pretty nice that you can change your WordPress login details from here instead of going to the actual WordPress website. So each website has a couple of other features denoted in the small menu here. Of course, there are backups, which are done daily, and you can also manually create a backup. So right on you go. And it's very easy, and by default this is stored on your server, but you can put it on a remote server if you want to have more safety on your backup, and it doesn't count as extra space. So just create this backup, and this will take some time to create. We'll just be going back to our website and click on it. Furthermore, there's a staging tool, which is, I think you're familiar if you're watching this video with staging, but basically staging is having a development website for your real website, and then you can make changes on it, and once you're done, you can push these changes to the live website. So that's a safe environment to break things, to develop, to play with things, and I think it's pretty much needed if you're a serious WordPress host that you have this functionality so that you can develop WordPress websites safely. So, well, it's pretty easy to create a staging website. You can even copy only certain folders from the staging website, or even don't copy the database, but we'll just do the default thing by now. Continue, and there you are. The staging website is being created. It's that easy, and that's one thing I really like about Templ, is that the usability and the interface is really clean. There's not too much in it. All the options are clear, and this makes it pretty nice to manage your website and add things. So just let's go back. As you see here, the staging website is being built. It's also denoted by a nice label, being it staging. We'll just be looking into site. So in the plan, you can change your plan and upgrade it. As you can see now, I'm on the smallest plan, but would my site grow, I have more visitors, need more space, I can just upgrade it here. Furthermore, there's an import function in which you can import an old backup, but also a duplicator link. And duplicator is a tool and plugin for WordPress to duplicate WordPress website, and also very useful to migrate WordPress website from one place to another. And at least you have the tool step, which come in with some handy tools. There is a vulnerability check which you can run manually and see if your installation is still safe. There are some plugins which Templ installs by default, and you can use this button to install them again. And also, if you import a database with an old URL, you can use fix domain to override these to the correct URL, so your installation and all your files have the correct URL. And there are some other things, such as file permissions. Sometimes there are these problems with file permissions, so you can't upload new files to your WordPress. And also clear banned IPs. There's a safety system within Templ that if unknown users connect to SFTP or SSH, they're banned, which is, I think, a pretty good security practice. But I mean, if you fail by logging in yourself a couple of times, you're banned as well, and then from here you can clear it again and still have the SFTP or SSH access to your own website. So that basically is the overview of our website, and we'll just be logging in into the WordPress admin. And the nice thing is that it also has single sign-on, so you can just click in here and we will redirect it. And there we are. We are logged into our WordPress installation. Amazing. And as you can see, it's just a pretty empty WordPress installation. Post in there, the default page, sample page, and privacy policy. And furthermore, the default theme and some of the plugins are in there. A couple of Templ plugins which you can use and which are pretty useful. The Template cache makes sure that your website gets recached once you add new content, and just what caching does, it makes your website faster by making a static copy of a generated page, so to say, and it's technology, but then it means your visitors get an older copy served. And once you add new content, they see the old version of the website, the cached version, so to say, which will load faster. And with a Templ plugin, it makes sure that this cache is updated once you add new content to your WordPress website. And as you can see, this is just a pretty basic WordPress install. You can go to the front and see that it's similar. It runs pretty fast out of the box. Even with my internet, it works pretty well, so that's really nice. Just let's go back to the control panel of Templ itself. So there we are, we're back in the panel, and as you see, we could just log in using this button. It's a pretty nice feature. I'll just go rapidly through some of the other features which Templ offers. You can set up your domains in here, and these domains you need to register them first at another domain registration party, and then point the IP to your correct server. What you can also do is use the name servers of Google. So we can add any custom domain in here. Any custom domain. And we'll just continue. It again takes some time. It's a bit of downside. These like regular actions also take some time. The Templ will, by the way, automatically add an SSL certificate to your domain, so it's also safe and secure. There you are. We didn't point the SSL certificate to Templ, so it cannot generate a certificate, but usually it will do. So just let's continue. And well, what it says here is that we can use these name servers to point the domain in a correct way, and in this way we can add domains through Templ and connect them to our websites. And again, go back to the website aspect and go to edit website details, and in here I can now choose any of these domains. So far these are the domains overview. It works pretty easy as well. I'll just delete this sample domain, and to be sure this doesn't register your domain. You need to have this domain elsewhere, but just enables the domain within the system of Templ. So another really nice feature for a WordPress managed host, because many managed WordPress hosts don't offer email, is that Templ offers email. So if you set up the domain correctly to Templ, you can add email addresses in here. Well, I didn't do it. I just removed all the domain. Stupid of me. But in here you could add email addresses and then enable email from within Templ. So it's pretty nice that they offer this email functionality as well, and that you don't require another email service. In the second tab, there are some of the settings you need to use. Might you be using Outlook or another mail program? So you can use these programs to send your email. So there are a couple of other tabs here on the left. Let's just move to the File Access tab, which can be used to add your SSH keys. So if you don't know SSH keys, these are cryptographic keys used on both the server and your computer, which you can use to easily log in to your server using something called a command line. And this is very often used by developers and system administrators to access their servers. And being on the command line allows you to have features such as Git, and also use the WP CLI functionality, which is a command line interface for WordPress and also used by many WordPress developers. If this is all technical gibberish for you and a little bit difficult, I can imagine that, but for the developers out there, it's good to know that you can just add your SSH keys in there and have access to all the websites you spin up within Templ. And I think it's a good feature and a good practice to do site access in this way, actually. Furthermore, there's the backup tab in which you can see the backups that are made. There's still a backup from a deleted website, which I think is great. If you delete a website by accident, the backup is still there and I can restore it to a new website. And in this way, I can also move websites pretty easily or clone websites. So I can just create a website, make a backup, and create a new website and restore that backup to the given website. So let's just click on this backup. As you can see in here, we made a manual backup in here. You can download this backup and also go to the website to restore it. I can also delete some of these backups in here, but for now that's not needed. So then there is the usage tab, in which you can see the bands of use. I think this screen is pretty limited. I would expect to have seen more details on the visitors, these kind of details, and probably maybe even CPU used and space used as well. Also in this screen, I blasted all my bandwidth away because I did some load testing, firing thousands of users at the server of Templ and see if it could hold up. Speaking about that, they are pretty performant. If you know Kinsta, which is a well-known WordPress host, you will find that they look pretty similar. Kinsta is also using Google Cloud. Templ is pretty performant in my tests. They could handle up to 1,000 users at the same time. So that's 1,000 users firing a request each second, which equals to 60,000 people viewing a page in 1 minute. And that's pretty extraordinary, good performance. Even on the lower plans, they have this performance for a smaller amount of time. On the larger plans, you have this performance throughout a longer time, and that's called a shared CPU usage. So it is you can access the full CPU for a smaller period of time if you're in a smaller plan. So have the same performance as a big plan, but only for a smaller plan. Also a bit difficult to explain, but that's how it works with Templ. You can see more details on the pricing page as well, how that works. I think the bandwidth is pretty limited. Um I mean, if you have a homepage of around 2 MBs in size, this will you will be over this bandwidth um, only with 5,000 users in a month, 5,000 new visitors. So yeah, it also has to do with Google Cloud, which has a low bandwidth um, by default, which offers low bandwidth by default, but still it's not that big bandwidth. And if you go over it, of course, you need to pay more. So that's about the usage. There are just two of these items left, and there is this functionality to have account sharing, in which you can create a shareable account, so you can add other people to your installations and just go on there. It's not that extensive that you can have permissions per website, so people have full access to other websites in there from what I believe. So let's just add a sharing account and continue. And there we are. So this email address will now receive an invitation and can also access the website on this panel. And at last, they have a user guide with some helpful articles on how to use Templ, and they have a pretty good documentation. Also, I have been in touch with their support, and I made put some silly errors on the website and see if they could help me. Asked a lot of questions, also on the technical side. And the great thing is that they reacted very quickly and also pointed me in the right direction to solve the problem. And that is pretty good, because not all hosting parties will help you with programmer mistakes or any kind of errors which are your own fault on your website, and only do the hosting part. So this extra service is really what stands out for Templ. I must say they really look like Kinsta, which I also have a video about. It feels pretty similar, but just not as polished yet. Kinsta just has a little more features, somewhat more statistics, but I think they're pretty comparable otherwise, and this is a pretty good runner-up. There's also an account tab in which you can change all your account details, the billing, payment, and even, because this is a Swedish company and also has many Swedish customers, make this interface in Svenska, but I don't talk it, so I will stay in English now. So what's my conclusion? I think Templ is a pretty promising host. They offer really nice features. I think their pricing is a bit on the high side, but they're equal to other compared hosts in terms of pricing, such as Kinsta and WP Engine. And well, I'm really looking forward how they will develop further. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, any comments, leave a reaction behind. If you want to know more about Templ, you can just mail them and contact them. They're really friendly and helpful support. You can have a trial and test them out if they're to your liking, like I did as well. I also wrote an elaborate detail about Templ and what I like, about the load testing, about how good it works. It's a link underneath this video, and for the rest, I wish you an amazing morning, day, or evening, depending on where you are. So take care and see you later.